Welcome, people of YouTube, to summer 2024 here in Vassiliki once again. Now, if you're new to the channel, I don't know where you've been. Maybe it's because it's been a snowy winter, things have changed, but it's back on the water for the next 6 months. Everything's going to be released a couple of times a week. It's all about windsurfing, winging, water sports, and what's going on here out here in Vassiliki. And I thought I'd start the summer with a question as old as windsurfing is. What sail shall I use? What size shall I go? How big or small shall I take? I think I should point out just to start with that questions like this and this sort of discussion that I have with myself as I windsurf along just now, usually on the board I'm explaining tips and techniques and tricks, and although I suppose it is a technique or it's a tactical choice what to take, what sail, a lot of these questions I cover in the walk along series rather than the ride along series. So elsewhere in the channel, or in fact in the description of every video, you'll find a link to the walk along series where you join my Patreon account, follow me just there, and then you've got access to these, I want to say almost like podcast style chats, walking along the beach, usually first thing in the morning when I'm taking my dogs out for a stroll. Because strictly speaking, I don't need to be on a board right now to discuss and to talk to you. What sail shall we use? And the reason I thought it would be such a good thing to start with right now is every time you get to a beach anywhere, what sail shall I take? What size are you on? What size are you on? And then you start judging from that, making your decision, and going out accordingly. This, by the way, this is a 5.9 Spy from 0.7, and I'm on a 103 Ignite from starboard. And the wind right now, on and off, like you saw, I've only just got going here, and just now it's above 15 knots. This gust just coming through is probably around 20 or so. And you as an individual, you'll get to know your kit. That is, if you're not renting from a school, of course. And you'll know, okay, it's this many knots, I'm on this board, I'm on this location. It becomes more and more regular, let's say, easier to judge what sort of kit you need, what sort of sail you need. Problem is, when you're mixing and matching everything, locations, sail type, board type, and different things start to come into play, different factors need to be taken into account. For example, just then, when I launched, I was taking a 5.9, I looked out, I asked around, and a number of the guys around me were on 4.4s, 4.7s, I think the largest I heard getting rigged was a 5.2. But then I look out to sea, and the only people I can see moving, I recognise a bunch of the sails, were more than 7 metres. So straight away, you've got that sort of judgment, I suppose, of, well, they're only on a 4.4, why is he taking a 5.9? Let's just turn around here for a second and have a think. My line of thought when it comes to what sail shall I take is I generally would rather be slightly overpowered and needing to depower slightly or make adjustments to depower than be slightly underpowered and really having to work hard to get the board going. About a sentence I say quite a lot is that the extra power can make up for the lack of ability. Hence, hence me and the guys just then, I'll take a 5.9 because they're on a 4.4. But as you can see right now, actually, I'm underpowered. I'm not really going until there's a gust just about coming through. There we go. And I guess the point I'm trying to address is there seems to be this attitude amongst windsurfers, and it goes in both ways actually. Some places you go to, and it's whoever's on the biggest sail is the best. And if you're taking a small sail, that means you're not good enough to handle something bigger. Some places it's the opposite, and that's definitely the sort of attitude I find around a beach like Vassiliki, where there's a lot of freestyling going on. And generally people want to get on the smallest possible sail because it's lighter, it's more maneuverable, and it's easier to duck and flick and throw the sail around the place than something bigger and heavier. It's such a balancing act. The other variables that come in, because right now this is a freestyle board, which doesn't mind being overpowered a little bit because of the sharp rails, the high speed that it likes to go at. When I do get really powered up, it really doesn't matter. And I find that it's exactly the same when I'm riding some sort of a free racy style slalom board, something along the Futura or the Isonic style range, it doesn't matter if you're technically overpowered, you're just going to go a little bit faster. The opposite, I suppose, could be said for wave style boards. Wave, or the the less speedy freeride boards that tend to stick to the water just a little bit more to allow for stability and forgiveness. Or even a freestyle wave board that loves to carve and play around in the chop. When they get overpowered, you feel it. You feel the board sticking. That sentence of being overpowered, just so we're on the same lines, and I think this does explain things a little bit clearer too. Being overpowered is when the board won't accelerate, but the sail wants to. And that's when you feel like you've got too much power. If I was windsurfing on ice, as I'm sure you've seen a lot of people are doing, or if I had the faster board, the slalom board, the freestyle boards, then you're not going to get that overpower feeling as much because the board simply keeps accelerating that little bit faster. So I guess, to summarize slightly, I haven't got a magic cure for you. And I'm not going to give you what I've seen knocking around are these grids that says it's 20 knots, you weigh 60 kilograms, therefore you need this size sail. There's so many other little variables that come in. Fin size, sailor size, ability, tide, water speed, if there is a current or something going on underneath. But actually, I guess with that in mind, it really doesn't matter if you're going slightly big or slightly smaller. Try and avoid that attitude or that stigma that you have to go bigger or smaller. Try what you like, and if you realise it's wrong, you can always change it. And most importantly, I suppose, with all of this, is that my 5'9" that I'm on currently is adaptable, and I don't have to go in and completely de-rig it to change it. An extra inch down at the bottom, the downhaul, an extra little 2-finger pull on the outhaul, and the sail is drastically changing, much less power. The same right now, if I went back in and I let off just a little bit of downhaul and gave the sail just that little bit more belly, I'd get that tiny bit more power from it. The sails are very adaptable now. This is the start of summer 2024. Like I said, I've got loads of tutorials coming out shortly. I'm going to try and get at least one, if not a couple of them out each and every single week. What I'd love for you to do is to leave a little comment at the bottom of this video telling me what sort of tutorials you want. What do you want me to coach? What do you want me to go through? And if you've not yet found already, there's YouTube Shorts, Instagram and TikTok, where I've started a whole reel series, let's call it, R-E-E-L-S. Short 1-minute power clips with tips and advice of windsurfing skills. So make sure you check out the reels. There's also a Starboard podcast. The first one has already been released when I'm filming this now. More are going to start coming very regularly, so make sure you check out them too. See what's going on the podcast. And like I said at the start, a lot of the discussions like I'm doing just now, I don't really need to be on a board for. I can happily do this during the walk-along series. So if you've not found it already, link in the description will take you to the walk-along series. Thanks as always for joining me here in Vassiliki. If you are coming this way, I'd love to do some coaching with you. I've got private coaching clinics and group coaching clinics going on throughout the summer. So do drop me an email. Contact details are in the description as well. And I will see you back here very, very soon. Okay.